Sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis studies the subjective information is an expression. That is the opinion, appraisal, emotion, or attitude towards a topic, person, and entity. Expression can be classified as positive, negative, or neutral. For example, I really like the new design of your website. That is the positive example. How is the sentiment analysis done? Let's talk about. It's a process of analyzing online places of writing determine the emotional tone that carry. In simple words, sentiment analysis is used to find the author's attitude towards the something. Sentiment analysis tools categorized piece of writing as positive, neutral, or negative. What is sentimental analysis in NLP? Sentiment analysis, also known as opinion mining or emotional AI, it is a subfield of NLP that try to identify and extraction opinion within a given text across blog, receiver, social media, from forum, news, etc. Let's talk about the which algorithm is best for sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is the similar technology used to detect the sentiment of the customers, and there are multiple algorithms can be used to build such application for sentiment analysis. As per the development and ML expert, SVM, Navice, Bayes, and maximum entrop are best supervised machine learning algorithm. How many type of sentiment analysis there are two type of sentiment analysis, subjective and objective. Identification and features aspect based sentiment analysis. What is the sentiment analysis used for? Analyze tweets and or Facebook post over a period of time to detect sentiment of a particular audience. Monitor social media mention of a brand and automatically categorized by urgency. Automatically route social media mention to term remember best in fit to purpose. Is sentiment positive or negative? Negative, positive, or neutral sentiment in general means the attitude or opinion one expressed within a given post towards a specified subject. It is based on algorithm evaluating whether the word including in a post are related to positive, negative, and neutral emotions. How accurate is sentiment analysis? When eventually the sentiment positive, negative, neutral, or the given text document, research shows that human analysis tend to agree around 80 to 50% of time. But when you running automated sentiment analysis through the neutral language processing, you want to be certain that the results are reliable. Let's talk about the what is the sentiment score. What is a sentiment score and how it's measured? Written by Dave Child, the sentiment of a piece of text is it's positively or negatively, and sentiment analysis given an objective ideas or whether the text used mostly positive, negative, and neutral language. How does the sentimentic analysis work? Sentiment analysis, the task of ensuring that declaration and statement of a program and sent- semantically correct. That is, the meaning is clear and considered with the way in which control structure and data type of support to be used. Is sentiment analysis part of NLP? NLP is an applied field of machine learning, and artificial neutral network are being used in NLP very frequently. While one of the other hand, sentiment analysis is a task of NLP where your system need to test the sentiment of the task that based on ML training dataset. How is sentiment analysis useful? Sentiment analysis is extremely useful in social media monitoring as it allows use to gain an overview and the wider public opinion behind certain topic. The overall customer experience of your user can be revealed quickly with sentiment analysis, but it can get for more Gradual. 2. What is the subjective in sentiment analysis? It classifies an opinion document that is product review and expressing a positive or negative opinion. Task is also commonly known as the document level sentiment classification because it's considered the whole document as the basic information unit. What is human sentiment? A more subtle sentiment is human sentiment. Human involve identifying with the achievement and suffering the human race and implies a commitment to human happiness within the laws of nature. What is sentiment analysis algorithm? Benchmarking sentiment analysis algorithm. Sentiment analysis, also known as the opinion mining, is a powerful tool you can use to build smart products. It is natural language processing algorithm that give you a general idea about the positive, neutral and negative sentiment of texts. What is the polarity score in the sentiment analysis? The key aspect of the sentiment analysis is to analyze a body of text for understanding the opinion expressed by it. Typically, we qualify the sentiment with positive or negative value called polarity. The overall sentiment is often interpreted as a positive, neutral, or negative from the sign and the polarity score. Let's talk about what is the polarity and the subjectivity in sentiment analysis. Subjective sentiments generally refer to the personal opinion, emotion, and judgment, where the objective refer to factual information. We can see the polarity is zero point 0.8, which means that the statement is positive, and 0.75 subjective refer the mostly it is public opinion and not factual information. What is a sentiment for sentences? If we talk about the sentences for sentimental, he has a sentimental attachment to his old high school. She saved her wedding gown for sentimental reason. He has sentimental idea about the past. I tend to get very sentiment when I think you my childhood. What is the meaning of sentimental person? Call a person sentiment if he or she is led more by the emotion than by reason. If you have the sentimental attachment to a favorite suffered animal, animal, you will probably even bring it to college with you. Sentimental describe a person who rely on emotion more than the reason, or a novel or a time that is overly emotional. What is emotional analysis? Sentiment analysis and emotional analysis are two key methods experts use to quantify audience emotional engagement. You can use them in your content strategy to unreveal readers' emotion responses to your content. If you manage to uncover how people feel about your content, you can easily make it perfect. Is AI a sentiment analysis? Sentiment analysis, also known as opinion mining or emotional AI, refer to use the natural language processing, text analysis, computational, linguistic, and biometric to systematically identify, extract, quantify, and study affective state and subjective information. What is sentiment classification? Sentiment classification is a special task of task classification whose objective is to classify a task accordingly to the sentiment polarities of opinion it contains. For example, favorable and unfavorable, positive or negative. What is clickstream analysis? Here it is, we talk about the clickstream analysis on a website. Clickstream analysis, also known as clickstream analytics, is the process of collecting, analysis, and reporting the arrangement data about which page a website visitor visit and in what other order The path the visitor take through the website is called the clickstream. What is the lexicon sentiment analysis? Lexicon based sentiment analysis application of a lexicon is one of the two main approaches to sentiment analysis, and it involves calculating the sentiment from the semantic orientation of word or phrases that occur in text. In sentiment analysis supervised and is let's talk about, is sentiment analysis supervised or unsupervised? Sentiment level sentiment analysis are either based on supervised learning on an unsupervised learning. Sentiment analysis, also known as opinion mining, refer to use of natural language processing, text analysis, and computation linguistic to identify and extract subjective information in source material. What is sentiment analysis in Forex? Forex sentiment analysis entail identifying traders' positions so that you can try to know how they are thinking and make appropriate trade decision. In other financial market like the stock market, participant can assess the volume trade to curb to prevailing sentiment. What is sentiment? Semantic check. Rule of the semantic specify how valid external preferences are made. Those sentiment checking verified that refer to the dataset subjective and host variable are valid and that host variable the data type are correct. What are the sentiment rules? Sentiment rules make communication possible. They are rules that people have agreed on to give meaning to certain symbol and words. Sentiment misunderstanding arise when people give different meaning to the same word or phrases. What are example of semantics? Semantics is the study and analysis of how language is used figuratively and literally to produce meaning. Semantics seeks to describe how word and use, not to prescribe how they should be used. Example of sentiment: a toy block could be called a block, a cube, a toy. What is the synonym of sentiments? Feeling, emotion, affection, sentiment, passions mean a subjective response to a person, thing, or situation. What are the sentiment indicators? A sentiment indicators refer to a graphical or numerical indicators designed to show how a group feel about the market or economy. Sentiment indicator shows how built or bearish a group of people are, which may help forecast the group further behavior, often the contrarian ways. How many type of sentiment analysis there? There are main type of sentiment analysis: subjective and objective, which I already had mentioned. Features and the based on sentiment analysis, which algorithm based on sentiment. These question I already discussed. Example of the, is sentiment positive or negative? How accurate sentiment analysis? What is objective sentiment? Is sentiment? These question I discussed. I hope this. What is the polarity and subject in sentiment analysis? All question are discussed. It's all about the questions based on sentiment analysis.